Teen who fell into a coma last year after getting breast implants is allowed to move home but can barely move or speak. Linda Perez, now 19, fell into a coma in the hour after her August 2013 breast augmentation surgery finished. Was a vegetable for 2 months and showed the stirrings of life in October before being released to go home in November. She can barely move, needs to be carried through the house, and can only say a few words. Her parents are filing to become her legal guardian as well as the guardian for her now 4-year-old son because she cannot care for him. Doctor claims she failed to tell him that she had complications when anesthesia was used during her son's birth years before implant surgery. A young woman who fell into a coma last year after getting breast augmentation surgery has been allowed to go back to her home but is still unable to move on her own and can only say a few words. Linda Perez now has to be under constant supervision as she has dropped to a skeletal weight. Doctors fear that the now 19-year-old may never recover, but her mother is holding out for a recovery, citing the fact that she is now off of her feeding tube as a good sign. "I still have hope because she is alive and she's home," Mariela Diaz told the Miami Herald. While she may be remaining upbeat, her daughter has not come to terms with her inability to move her own limbs. "She goes into depression and crying," Mrs. Diaz said. "She sees that she cannot walk, and when she realizes what happened to her, she cries." Linda suffered brain damage in the hour after the breast augmentation finished, but now the doctor who performed the surgery is filing to have access to her earlier medical records because he feels she hid key facts from him. She allegedly had a complication from anesthesia that she was given during the birth of her son, and if she had told the doctor about that incident he would have approached the procedure differently. 4 months following the August 2013 operation, the then 18-year-old's toddler son was not told about his mother's illness. She first showed signs of life in a coma in October and was allowed to go back to the family home in November. Now her parents have told the Miami Herald that they plan to petition a court in order to become the now 4-year-old boy's legal guardians, as well as getting the same title for their daughter. They also are in the process of gearing up for a court battle as they are planning on filing a lawsuit against the doctor who put in their daughter's breast implants. While the medical explanation for what exactly happened is still being debated, it is visible that something terrible has happened to the girl because she is so thin. Linda had the breast augmentation surgery at the Coral Gables Cosmetic Center in August 2013 after paying $2,800, which is believed to be about half of the normal price of the procedure. Her family were told that her heart stopped during the operation and she was effectively dead when she was transported to hospital. She suffered brain and heart damage during the procedure. Perez was admitted to Mercy Hospital following her procedure, and her family's attorney, Mark Eiglersch, said that finding out what went wrong will require litigation. Dr. Jacob Freiman, who performed the surgery, has a clean record and is a board-certified plastic surgeon, according to the Florida Department of Health. Dr. Freiman is calling for an investigation into her medical history because he claims that the girl knew she had suffered complications when she gave birth to her son. "They put a spinal anesthetic, and she needed to be intubated," Dr. Freiman said in a report filed by the medical center to gain access to her earlier records. He says that the information was purposefully kept from him in order to keep him from calling off the plastic surgery. She told the doctor during one of their consultations that she had a history of seizures 8 years before the breast augmentation but had stopped taking medication as the seizures stopped and had no known history of lung or heart problems. She also said that she had stopped smoking. While Dr. Freiman has a clean history with the medical board, it later emerged that the anesthetist Dr. Mario Alberto Diaz had previously served time for illegally selling pain pills over the Internet. Dr. Diaz served time in federal prison in 2006 for illegally dispensing at least 53,000 doses of pain pills over the Internet. He also had his Florida medical license suspended for 6 months. What they gave me is essentially a vegetable, her mother Mariela Diaz told NBC6. Perez was admitted to Mercy Hospital following her procedure, and her family's attorney, Mark Iglerge, said that finding out what went wrong will require litigation. How does an 18-year-old healthy young lady go in to have a simple routine cosmetic procedure and come out in a vegetative state, he asked as he spoke to NBC6.